I understood that reference.
No. Wait.
Multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little.
And welcome back to Marvel Mondays, everybody. It's been quite a while. It's been a bit. So let me go ahead and just say our introduction. Oh wait, we got a panel member. Give me a second. All right. So like I was saying, it has been a while. I do apologize to not only the panel but the audience as well. For anyone who comes in and joins us. Life got kind of busy. Everything kind of came together at once, all at the same time. Where I was on even worse boat than our first guest I'll introduce, JT. He was losing faith in Marvel, and then after a certain point, after like 3 or 4 projects back to back, just being so like to get through, I lost faith. I don't know if it was the infiltrator JT over here. How you doing, JT? But he somehow managed. He almost got me to be Team DC, and I almost drank the Kool-Aid. I was like, oh man, this is turning good. No, but in actuality, DC, while we were gone, they did pick up a lot of slack, a lot of good positive turnaround going on over there currently. But
hold on, I do have to say something to all the listener fans.
What's up?
This is a great day to be a comic book fan right now because DC is back on the map with James Gunn over on the other side. Marvel is going to introduce Phase 5 and 6 starting next year with Quantumania, and it's going to be a huge battle, and we are looking forward to like some like cool topics and everything between DC and Marvel. So I'm glad that next year and beyond is going to be awesome. I'm just letting you guys know that.
All right. It's nice to have you back, but without also further ado, I will introduce our co-host for Marvel Mondays, Mr. Oyman. Can you hear us?
I can hear you all. I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm still trying to get my headphones.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So trying to do it through the computer. Headphones not working. Don't worry. Come back to me.
Guess what, motherfucker?
We could hear you. But all right, so we'll get back to him, and we also have Miss Cap coming back. How you been doing on this break, Miss Cap?
Doing all right, School's been good, working, trying to get some reading done trying to relax a little bit. You know, a little bit of everything.
All right, so like catching up on stuff, taking a nice break. Didn't you go? No, you went on vacation while we were still up on air, didn't you?
Yeah, for the summer, but
Yeah.
it's to work.
And Mr. Johnny Joestar, you excited to come back? We're coming back with the vengeance, right?
Yeah, coming back with a fierce vengeance. Definitely got a lot to talk about, especially with all this stuff coming on. Like, I mean, you guys might have a little bit of faith, but like, it seems that everything's kind of bunched up. But we'll get into that though.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Oh,
all right.
Am I heard?
Yeah, we could hear you loud and clear.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go. I
All
can hear
right.
you guys loud and clear too.
All right,
Good
so
to be
we got
back.
Mr. Oyman back, and then we also have a newcomer going on. We got a special
Mr.
guest.
Davil.
Davil, how you doing?
oh, I pronounced it wrong. I thought it was like Deville, like Cruella Deville. Anyway,
Deville?
go on.
Let him
No,
himself.
wrong pride. More like, well, he's Team DC, where we're starting to grow in numbers. Apparently, we're oh,
We
hold
should.
on. Let me check the stream health. It looks like all right. We're still good.
I'm having trouble syncing my headphones to my phone. They say they're linked, but they're not. The audio of you guys talking is not going through my headphones.
Oh, that's weird.
Same. That's why I switched to the laptop because the phone was not working. So it must be a gilded thing.
Either not,
Well,
you guys.
I'm
you
using
guys,
my phone.
Yeah, you guys seem to always
Oh.
have problems. It's always you, Mr. Oyman. You.
Yeah, I don't know.
We switched over
I
to
did,
Gilded because
I did the
you had
same
problems
thing
with
I
Discord.
always do, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, apparently it suck ass. All right, no, but in
The noise.
but
JT.
wait, who's that? Oh, is that JT laughing?
Yes, it is.
All right. So let's bring up the bulletin real quick. So I got it right here. All right. So not much on news. I mean, we're gonna kind of talk about everything that's gone on in Marvel, kind of in like the entertainment style, like the movie shows, games, trailer hypes, their Comic-Con showing, stuff like that, to see if they did deserve one of those, or if they deserve one of those. We'll see. We'll see. I'll start off by saying right off the bat that it's mainly due to Marvel's fault that, well, Disney in general, that we had to take a break, honestly, guys. I kept it due to NDA, but that lapsed already. So I saw She-Hulk, and then I'm like, nah, I need to get out of town. It coincided with
But
when
you
I
didn't
went,
see it though. You didn't.
when I went
finish
to.
it.
Well, just shut the fuck up. I'm talking. No, but I'm trying to get to something.
Lying to your
Stormy.
audience.
What's it called? No, I did see. I saw enough to see that it's garbage. But
Oh, shoot.
what's it called? So I went on vacation because it was scheduled to be the same week that trash ass show ended, and I did a lot of contemplation. I came back and I said, you know what? I'm going up to Disney, and I met with the shareholders, and I said,
Broke through the fourth wall.
yeah, I went to the shareholders and I said, you got to get that mother Bob Chapek out of this
Ah!
place and get Iger back. And they're like, yeah, that guy does kind of suck. I mean, the guy at the shareholder in the back was like,
Brother, this guy stinks!
and
So,
so we
you did
gave
see the end of the show.
So we gave Chapek the boot, and I got him to send a load, like a whole 18-wheeler filled of money over to Iger. So now they're, according to Iger, they're gonna respect the fan base and stop wasting our goddamn time. So that being
Focus
said,
on quality over quantity.
yeah, quality over quantity. And if the rumors are true, it seems like they're going to do a lot more special presentations to take over some of what would have been those full-blown shows that don't need to be 8-9 episodes long and over 3 hours worth of content when you could just do it in 45 minutes to an hour and a half. But anyways,
Alex, you need to get that soundbite that's from Total Recall that Arnold Schwarzenegger goes like, "What the fuck did I do?"
Which one?
Okay.
You want an Arnold? I got this one.
Bullshit.
But
Oh shit.
But anyways, moving on. So like I said, we are back now. We hopefully shouldn't be taking many long hiatuses. Obviously, we're probably gonna have a couple for like Christmas break, stuff like that. Because I think Christmas is on Monday this year, is it not?
Nope, my birthday
It's on
is
a Sunday.
So we'll be recovering from the holidays probably then, and I'm pretty sure that New Year's is on
Sunday as well.
yeah Sunday. So we'll be recovering from that too. But
Dang.
what?
I forgot to. I actually saw the talking about holidays. I did see that the Guardians of the Galaxy, that was super cool, super well done. I really enjoyed it.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. One of the things that brought my faith back.
My girl actually like teared up and started to cry. I was just like, "Huh, look at that little Christmas sadness." I was just like,
You're crying.
Yeah. No. Okay.
Okay.
But since
All
we
right,
do,
dramatic JT, geez.
Hey, it's okay,
Dramatic
JT. It's okay.
since we do
I
have
got
a
your
lot
tissues right here.
to get through, and oh what?
Things just got out of hand.
But so let's go ahead and kind of start getting the basis on how we might do the let's call it the report card for like fellow teachers like you, Miss Cap. Let's do a grading of Marvel's 2022. So I mean, we'll get stuff like I said earlier, like how do you feel like they did on their output, not just in the MCU, but also stuff like we do have Marvel other products like Marvel Snap on the phones, a little mobile game. We did have Midnight Suns come out. Apparently that turned out to be really good. I still personally have no interest in the gameplay style, but it's apparently for those who do like that type of game, it's like grade A top tier. Like Marvel games are back on top, like when they were Ultimate Alliance days and stuff like that.
They just need to bring that shit back.
Exactly. How was that? But
I mean, like
somebody
things like XCOM did that.
Yeah. It's an XCOM style one with a little bit of a twist. But we also had the grand like Mr. Martin Scorsese right there saying this is cinema. We also had the Oscar-worthy Morbius come out this year too. Way better than anything that MCU put out.
I haven't seen it.
Best Oscar for the most morbing.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Best best dance by a villain, Matt Smith.
I understood that.
The Oscar
I don't know. It didn't have any duck tits, so I wasn't interested.
Not that one. Not that one. We started. Yeah, we took a break, and I thought if anything died off, it would have been the duck tits, but apparently not.
Never forget duck tits.
Duck tits. Woo!
Anyone who says,
"Hey, I'm just combining both of them." I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Anyways, yeah, and like I said, also their movies. Obviously, the main people that are going to be, or not people, the main thing that's going to be in the report card, obviously, is going to be the one we're more passionate about, which would be the MCU. But let's go ahead and just get the smaller stuff out of the way. So when it came to like hype this year, including trailers for next year and Comic-Con and the trailers that we did get leading up to some of these movies, how do you think they fared on that, Mr. Oyman? Do you think it managed to get some of that slump that was considered earlier Phase 4, kind of get the train rolling back, the hype train rolling back on board, or do you think it's pretty much where it was at the beginning of the year?
You talking about the trailers for the Phase 5 stuff?
Well,
what?
Like what they've shown this year, how they like their PR this year. How do you think they fared? Because again, coming out of 2021, other than Spider-Man, most of the things are like, I mean, we got JT earlier in the year. But how do you think they handled like their outing to Comic-Con, stuff like that? What would you grade them on like a PR perspective?
Comic-Con was pretty strong. D23 was a little lackluster, but there were a couple things there that I, thought were okay. We got like our Werewolf by Night and Secret Invasion trailers. That was about it. So I guess PR wise, I mean, probably better than last year, maybe. I don't know. The only thing that I could think of about last year was that Black Widow was suing Disney. That was like the only negative. And that was more on Disney, not so much Marvel. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I just I'm looking up some articles and stuff like that. So,
so am I grading? What am I grading though exactly?
Well, just how if you think they did a good job at getting people riled up going into next year. Like I said,
absolutely. We got confirmation that we're getting 2 more Avengers movies. We got Wolverine returning to Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine. We got obviously a couple of big announcements for movies that we didn't know quite. I guess some of those announcements were older. So I mean, I don't know. I didn't have any problem with what they announced this year, but obviously some people were disappointed with the fact we didn't get like Fantastic Four casting or something, or I don't know. But yeah, I would say it's a combination of booing and applause because it was pretty mixed, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. Because did we get a director or? I can't remember what, because we did get some
for what
Fantastic Four news, didn't we?
Yeah, we got Matt Sheckman.
Ah, okay, so yeah, it was confirmation.
Several big TV show episodes, but hasn't really done any movies. He did do WandaVision though. So depending on how you feel about WandaVision, you'll be excited for him to return.
All right, and so let's go ahead and let's put Mr. Davell in the hot seat. So I know you're more of a DC guy, but you also do enjoy the Marvel stuff, because we have gone to go see some of the shows together or movies, stuff like that.
He's seen Black Panther, and you still haven't. Just saying.
But whatever. We're moving on. Like I said, I was too busy going to Disney over in California to go have a shareholder meeting.
Through the fourth wall.
Yeah, I didn't have time to go see Black Panther. See, they wasted my time so much that I had to sacrifice something. Apparently, like the only good thing that came out this year.
You became She-Hulk and bullied the studio, and they fired their CEO. So
100%, man. Apparently, more parallels to that garbage ass show than I thought I had. But but Mr. Devil, when it comes to the Disney Plus stuff. Do you feel like they hit pretty well this year for you, or do you think like coming off of some of the stronger ones at the beginning, like Loki, WandaVision, and then it started kind of tapering off at the butt end of 2021? So starting this new year fresh, do you think they kind of picked it back up, or do you think they once again dropped the ball when it comes to kind of making these shows feel like they should be on the same level as their movie side?
No, you might have to remind me. The WandaVision and Loki show came out
last year. Yeah,
right?
yeah, and I said, those were like the highlights. After that, people started like saying like, "Oh, what if?" Kind of it fell a little. Like none of them last year were horrible, but the quality was not as good as. Or consistency was not as good as WandaVision or Loki, it seems the general consensus is. And this year we had
this year was Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, Werewolf by Night, Holiday Special.
Yeah. So how do you feel? How do you think they fared in this sense? Well, let's go ahead and separate the actual shows from the special presentations, because again, that brings up a different topic that Iger seems to agree with if the rumors are true. But as far as the shows, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and She-Hulk, how do you feel that they did in 2022? Do you think they're going to turn around the perception of the audiences to a more positive light on these Disney Plus shows, or do you think it more reinforced the criticisms that they got at the end of last year?
I think because a lot of these new shows are coming out, I feel like the Marvel Studios is kind of letting the creative directors or writers kind of have fun with the show, but sometimes the general audience is just not going to like that. Their minds kind of attached to what phase 1 and phase 2, even phase 3 was.
What we're used to.
It used to be. So
Golden days.
Like WandaVision, Loki, those two shows, like you felt like they, even through the trailers, if you felt like they had a big stepstone into like this phase 4, and you did feel that by the end of the series, like with Loki, like this whole timeline being broken. It was, okay, that's going to lead into the movies, and we kind of got into that in the movies, but they didn't really reference like why it was happening. It's going to happen within the containment of each movie. And I wish they would have tied that more. But with She-Hulk and Moon Knight, those two shows are very different. Obviously, in terms of character and their backgrounds, more is kind of like more happy, kind of social life, realistically, versus the other one's kind of more elemental and dark. But then, what was the other show that came out?
Miss Marvel.
Well, I didn't even watch any of that.
This guy stinks!
Yeah. The less said
like,
about that one, the better.
It's no fault of their own. It's just like there wasn't any hype for me on that character specifically. But those two shows, I'm not including that Groot show or anything they did for that character.
Oh, I forgot
Groot,
about that. In the little shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were just shorts.
But they fell short just because of I obviously almost everybody watched She-Hulk just to watch Daredevil, and they kept like, just wagging
stringing
their
us along
and waited too long, and then like, yeah, it was really good, but like certain scenes were like we wanted to see more of him, but then She-Hulk would literally smash into the scene and be like She-Hulk smash. I'm like, oh, that's really cringy.
Well, it is her show.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Apparently, like 5 weeks worth of my life. But so you would say like
kind of my gist.
Overall, you would say that it's kind of in a similar boat as the end of last year, where people were like, "All right, I'm not sure how I feel about these Disney Plus shows. Like they don't seem to have a certain level of consistency where you could like say generally, oh, it was actually pretty good the whole year round." So you would say they don't have that going on for them right now?
I don't think so, and I totally forgot to talk about Captain America, or I guess the new Captain America.
Well, that was from last year.
Right.
But what's it called? So far we got one. All right. So let's say that out of 5, it's like amazing. Out of 4 would be good. A 3 would be like it's all right. A 2 would be meh, and a 1 would be like dog shit. Where would you put the Disney Plus for this year?
Moon Knight is definitely like a 4 for me. It's maybe like a 3, only because Daredevil was in it. If he was not in it at all, it would have been like a 2.
Okay. And Ms. Marvel?
That's like straight up dog shit.
So what? All right. So Miss Cap, would you agree that you're on the same boat as Devel? And basically, he pretty much summarized very similar on how I feel. So would you agree with us both, or do you have a slightly different take on it?
I think this year kind of blended in with last year a little bit. It had some really high moments, but it also had some like really low moments, aka She-Hulk. I'm on the same page, y'all. I've been through it. I watched it all, but my mind was so numb. I was just like, I did not spend like 8 weeks watching this. But it also had some really good high moments. I really, Moon Knight was really fun to watch. Actually did, and like I enjoyed watching Miss Marvel. It wasn't as bad as other projects.
I agree.
But if I rate like this year worth of Marvel projects, it probably around like a 4 or a 5. Like the high moments felt like kind of overran the low moments that they had.
So they definitely, in Miss Cap's book, deserved a round of applause because four is pretty good. Four is, like I said, it was like amazing level or really good. Not quite masterpiece, obviously, but not worthy of Mr. Scorsese. This is cinema meme, but pretty solid. Pretty solid at outing.
Yeah, it was pretty solid.
All right, I don't know what Mr. Oyman's gonna say, but let's hear from you, Mr. Oyman. Let's see if you what the hell was that? Let's see if you agree with us or if you have some other opinions.
Wild take, some hot take.
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so are we talking about the all
right
of the
now,
MCU projects as a whole?
No, not
TV
right now.
shows?
Just the Disney Pluses. We'll get to. I'll ask the other guys that I haven't gotten to talk about special presentations for the most part, but I want to hear your opinions on this Disney Plus and how it, if it for you changed.
Like I would
opinion.
when ranking all of the Disney Plus stuff, I would include the 2 special presentations and the set of Groot shorts. So and if I were doing that, I would probably give like all of the stuff collectively that was released on Disney Plus, like taking into account the stuff
the reason I wanted to separate the shows from these special presentations because again there's those rumors, but also because,
part of the MCU.
Yeah, because when we talk about the Disney Plus stuff, it seems to be very consistent that and I personally have been saying it for a while now, probably since the summer, and once I saw Werewolf by Night, it definitely solidified that take that I would think, and it was the fan base seems to be pretty dead on. Almost everyone saying that special presentation should probably be the way to go. That the shows themselves, unless they got a very big story and a character that warrants it, it seems to be that the fan base itself is starting to split these 2 different types of let's say mediums that they're using to present on Disney Plus. It's the same platform, but they're using 2 different ways to go about it. That's why I was trying to keep them separate. Because we didn't have special presentations last year to compare to this year, unlike we did have shows. That's why I want to get like your take on how did they improve on their show outing for you, or did they more or less feel like you're on the same boat as you were at the end of 2021?
Kind of on the same boat. I mean, like, I did like Moon Knight quite a bit. I'm one of the few who like really liked the end of it. Like that last episode really worked for me. I know it did not work for a lot of other people.
I thought it was all right.
The show as a whole was really good. I didn't think it was amazing or anything, but I did like it a lot. And then Miss Marvel, well, it started off great. It went very downhill, and yeah, the less said about it, the better. And then She-Hulk, well, we all know how everyone feels about She-Hulk. And the thing about She-Hulk is that not everyone feels the same way about it.
No, it wasn't. It's not for
I know
everybody.
lots of people that really like it and lots of people that hate it. For me, I would give, if I was ranked, I'd give Moon Knight a 4, Miss Marvel a 2, and She-Hulk like a 3.5. That's how I'd
agree.
Okay,
I agree to that one.
So like a
3.5, because I did. For me, She-Hulk started off great and ended great. It was the middle where it kind of really dragged.
So it was like a little bit better than the middle ground, right, for She-Hulk for you.
What do you mean?
Like, not like, let's say you're saying 3.5, so like a 60%. Like, yeah, it's not average. It's a little bit above average.
7.5.
Okay,
that's kind of where I'd put it, because I did like it a lot. It was just, yeah, there were things about it that it kind of like we were talking about. Like, I think Werewolf by Night would have benefited from being a movie, and I also think that She-Hulk and Miss Marvel would have benefited either from being movies, or She-Hulk having fewer episodes, or just releasing them all at once so you could binge them, because that's really the only way to sit through it.
Yeah,
doing it week to week was not a good idea. I agree.
No, yeah. So now that we're kind of starting to talk more and more about those special presentations. I'll ask Mr. Johnny Joestar over here, Johnny Boy. So, would you have preferred if She-Hulk was a special presentation, and let's say Werewolf by Night might have been one that's an actual show? Because I feel like there's a lot more lore and such that you could get into Werewolf by Night. You could start having stuff like Dracula, other monsters, stuff like that. Just kind of build that the horror aspect of the MCU with more time to breathe. Or do you think that special presentations were better, or not better this year because they weren't there last year? If She-Hulk would have benefited from that special presentations in your eyes?
Well, I actually really agree with what Jonathan said. It's mostly just the fact that, like, some of these things should have been probably better off as a show. And yeah, like, I mean, Werewolf by Night, if you wanted more gore, you wanted more of the darker side of, like, Marvel, which, let's be honest, we do want that. I mean, we want Midnight Suns. We want that shit. We want more of Doctor Strange. We want more of Daredevil. We want more of Blade. You know, we can throw in Morbius in there if you just want to tickle your pickle. But definitely we want that darker image of it, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. We have dark times in those Marvel, you know, comics and shows and movies, and like hopefully they'll do a little bit better with it for next year. But as far as it goes, like, yeah, I completely agree that it should have been a little bit longer, because damn, that was so good. Like, Werewolf by Night was amazing. I really enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I definitely give that one a 5. And the only bad part was it was just so short, just kind of like the holiday special that they came out with. Like, it was so short, but you know what? It was nice and sweet. It was like super. It was bittersweet, I guess you could say, because honestly, it was just something that you could just sit there and watch, and like you didn't really waste any time. It just kind of dove right in. Gave you the synopsis, gives you like literally what's gonna, like, the idea of what's gonna happen, and then you just find out what happens to lead to the end. You know what I'm saying? Because even by comparing it to like the holiday special, it's like one of those things where it just says, oh, well, we need a present and that's our goal, and we're gonna try to get somebody, you know. And then with Werewolf by Night, I mean, it's literally, oh, well, we're gonna go ahead and hunt this animal, and then it's just a bunch of stuff that's attached to it. So yeah, I really do feel like if it would have been a show, and I will add in, if it was not done by one episode every week, then yeah, it would have been good. And She-Hulk definitely would have been better if it was just a movie. Like, at least, you know,
even a direct to Disney Plus movie, like, it just needed to be shorter.
Yeah,
like, I didn't have a problem with it going to direct. It didn't need to be a theatrical movie, but
no.
Shorter.
Oh yeah, like I was about to say, like, it's one of those movies that would have just gone straight to DVD, you know, from straight back in the day. Yeah, like, I mean, it would just go straight to DVD or Blu-ray. Like, I mean, that would be it.
Like Aladdin, like 3 or whatever, like those straight to DVD old school.
Yeah.
and it's,
yeah, dollar bargain, the bargain bin. But definitely, it was one of those things where I did enjoy those shows. I really did. I enjoyed She-Hulk, not just because she's fucking hot, but still.
God damn it, there it is. There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Hey,
I was wondering.
I mean, I like broccoli myself. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, it was definitely a good show for what it was. Like, it wasn't supposed to be serious. It was just supposed to be comical. Some of you guys took it a little bit too serious, where that's why I feel like it fell so short for you, because it's like, oh, well, it's supposed to be like a, you know, like, I get it, like,
it's supposed to be dumb.
Yeah, it's supposed to be dumb. Now, I will say they went a little bit too far ahead with the last episode. It was just way over the top, where I was like,
that one line. They crossed that one line. I didn't want to see them.
They did. They went way too far with breaking into breaking the fourth wall, just like really bad, and that's what kind just tanked it, and I get it. Even my girlfriend, the fact that she doesn't really watch as many of the show, she's like, "What the hell just happened? Like, is this actually happening in the story?" And, yeah, and then I was just like, I don't, and my answer straight up was just,
I loved it.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is going on. No, like, I mean, I thought it was funny because just the fact that, like, she had to literally bully people, like, that was cool, whatever. But even then at the end, like, that
Fix my
weird
shitty
thing
show.
about, yeah. Like, I mean, it was just, oh, okay, this is gonna be the bad guy and all this stuff, and it's all because of the blood. Like, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, she pointed out a few things that was like, okay, well, yeah, that does make a lot of sense. But at the same time, breaking that fourth wall just completely diminishes any kind of fantasy into this actual story. Because, yeah, we don't mind breaking the fourth wall, like her talking to us, but when you have to, like, full blown not even acknowledge us and then just go straight up to, like, the headboards and just be like, hey, you know, what are you guys doing? Like, you guys are fucking up my story. It's like, okay, well, I mean, yeah, probably not the best situation that you want to be in, especially for a show.
When I mean, like, Deadpool kind of, I feel like, did it right. Like, they did the exact or a similar thing by making fun of the shitty Fox projects. But if you actually look at them, they weren't really related. They somehow coexisted.
Yeah, it was its own little thing.
It was its own little pocket universe that we broke the fourth wall with it. This show kind of, for me, just said, fuck you, we're breaking the fourth wall whether you're coming or not. And I don't know. And it for me, it just made me pull JT and lose faith because it was right off the heels from like 3 bad projects. Well, I guess because Werewolf by Night kind of put a slight damper there, but it was like coming out of Miss Marvel, Thor: Love and Thunder, which I was just, you guys know how I feel about those.
Oh my god!
So
yeah,
it was like,
but again, see, that's what I'm saying. It's just like
to back.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like, you have to acknowledge the fact that some of these aren't going to be like all seriousness.
Well,
it's
no,
not going to be.
I don't mind
serious.
not seriousness. It's just if you're gonna have, like, in my opinion, again, this is all my opinion. If you're gonna have trash,
of course.
Spread it out, but like trash, good project, trash,
spread
good
it out,
project. Yeah, don't do trash.
But what you consider trash is not actually trash, puta.
Yeah,
it's dog shit. It's dog shit.
Thor: Love and Thunder wasn't really trash. It was not.
It
was supposed to. Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was.
I didn't get to put my.
Then why was Chris Hemsworth like, man, this shit ain't it? For future projects, for my last outing, I don't want this shit anymore.
Because he did that version of Thor twice. Now he's ready to move on.
Exactly.
I don't think they should stick with that tone, but like.
And I'm pretty sure Taki is not going to be allowed to come back. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be brought back for the next Thor. So that shows you if it was actually as successful as you, Mr. Wayman, keep claiming it to be, they would for sure just keep that tone and bring Takia back. But I don't see that happening. It like, I'm not saying it was a complete failure, but it definitely was divisive enough to like throw a curveball. And I'm pretty sure.
It was divisive, and I do think that they should. Even I think they should switch Thor up. Even though, to me, like, this was on par with Ragnarok, which were both better than the first 2 Thor movies.
Yeah.
Thor's never had the best movies, so it's like, even though it's still better than it was, they're still not great. They're not top-tier Marvel, but they're solid enough.
It would have been more tolerable if they get rid of Korg. Kill that guy. You couldn't even kill him in this movie. Damn it.
They almost did.
Yeah. They almost did. But
yeah, I almost cheered. They took away my cheer moment, my clapping moment.
But the thing is, it's like, overall, like, honestly, I would give it like a 4. I mean, for all out, excluding fucking Mrs. Marvel, Jesus Christ, like, what the fuck was that? Yeah. Like, I like She-Hulk way better than I did Mrs. Marvel, because Mrs. Marvel was just so stupid at the end. Like, I didn't really catch that much stuff. Like, it was just all bunched up together, and it was so rushed. It was just so stupid.
And half-assed.
But yeah, but like, with all this going on, like, let's just take away Miss Marvel. Everything else, like, I mean, definitely a 4. especially with that special that they just came out, like with the holiday special, that gave it so much redeeming points because honestly, like I said, short but sweet, like it was nice. And hopefully they'll stick to better work that way, especially with these new the new Guardians of the Galaxy coming out next year. Definitely one of the things that I really want to see. And
I was gonna say you're gonna wish that they never brought out that holiday special. They'll come next May, man, because they're gonna be like, hey, you remember these characters? Look, fall in love with them for another thing before we tear them apart and
rip your heart.
Yeah.
I mean, like we all got that feeling that Rocket's gonna die, and I really do hope not, because like he's the one making a sentimental, like, you know, what is it, like he's just using like that sentimental voice where something bad might happen to him, and it sucks because, you know, well, he's an asshole.
Because they're introducing his wife, the otter, the little girl otter that he like.
I'm pretty sure that might be a flashback. Kill him off. I'm pretty sure that might be a flashback, because usually things things don't end well between him and Layla, because obviously in almost every run she's not around, and
this is James Gunn though.
Yeah, well, and he's the one that he's like the family dog. He's the one where if any of them is gonna hurt the most, it's gonna be Rocket. He's the one who's had like a complete arc. He's the one who's already lost everyone, so he's more likely to want to sacrifice himself than to see losing or risk losing his family for a second, well, technically third time if you consider his otter girlfriend, Layla. So
and I mean that
it would hit
definitely
the most.
With that it would actually benefit like the storyline a lot. But I mean, if you kill off that character, I mean, it just sucks.
What's Bradley Cooper gonna do? All he's got to do is record his lines like in a day, so it'd be easiest to just keep him around.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it's like maybe he's tired of it too, because like you have to understand, these movies have been going on for quite some time, and some of these actors are just kind of like, well, I think I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's probably a part of the process, because like some of these people, like, I mean, nobody has it even easier than other than just Vin Diesel as Groot. Okay, let's be honest. I mean, I hope like that, you know, they don't like literally say, you know, Groot is family. You know what I'm saying? Like right off the bat.
Oh God.
You know, at some point, because you know how Vin Diesel is about family. But definitely, I really do have some hope with a bunch of the stuff that's coming out next year. Not gonna really go into the whole like movies and shows, because like we have that big fear that some of that shit is just going to be bunched up, because they're losing so many people to make these damn shows and movies in such a short time that it's honestly going to like basically.
We'll have to wait and see what Iger says in the end, because he might change some stuff up. But since we did get a little bit off of topic, so I'll kind of reel us back in real quick. I know we are all excited and got a lot to say, but I do want to get JT's take on the different or the special presentations and such like that. So do you, JT, feel like special presentations are the way going forward, or do you think they should just keep doing what they're doing with the shows? Because I feel like if not only like Mr. Johnny Joestar said, they're short and sweet, so you don't feel like you invest enough to care, but not enough to where it feels dragged out. And I don't know if you noticed, but the production value on both special presentations was definitely higher quality in my opinion, compared to the like CG and everything else on some of these shows that have been coming out. So how do you feel, JT?
I think for me, the special presentations were the breath of fresh air, especially with Werewolf by Night. It was a different take, like horror wise, and I've not seen before within the MCU. And again with the holiday special, it was really well done. Miss Cap and I, we watched it together, and it was just awesome to see the Guardians of the Galaxy coming back together and kind of surprise Star Lord with with the actor Kevin Bacon. But to the point, I think that it all depends on who the character is. Again, if it's later on, we're gonna have Daredevil in about 2 years or so. I think he should have not a special presentation, but a whole arc, like an 18 episode, like they're planning to be, because there's so much going on, and we need like all of 45 or 15 minutes of those shows to kind of piece together the puzzle that they will have. But for like characters just like She-Hulk, that should have been a special presentation, because she's Bruce Banner's cousin, and that whole shebang. But I think it should be both. But I think Marvel has to choose like which characters should have a special presentation, and which character should have at least a 7-episode arc.
Like which characters are worth the time?
Exactly, which characters
time
are
and
worth
effort.
the time. So they have to figure out. But I think both are vital with the MCU going forward, because for some people, they don't like watching the whole thing in one setting, especially an hour-long episode. Some people like watching one episode a week, talking about it with their friends, anticipate for the next episode. So again, that's the balance act right here. But in terms of grading wise, I think for me, I think Moon Knight is up there as my top 3 Disney Plus shows, with WandaVision and Loki, just because of how well done it was for this year. And I think She-Hulk. I think She-Hulk was a comedy show, as you guys know. In the past, I've kind of made some jokes about the show, but I think for me, She-Hulk is like kind of one of those shows where you can put in the background and you can just make fun of all the feminism jokes or the masculinity jokes, and how Jennifer Walters kind of make fun of herself with everything, and how dating and whatever is kind of funny to think about. And then Miss Marvel was just trash. Like it didn't really enhance at all. It just all set up for like the next project moving forward. But I really enjoyed the special presentations. I think moving forward, this should be the vital point of the MCU, especially Disney Plus shows going forward. But I think there should be special characters that should have their own show. Because I don't think a special presentation won't be long enough to kind of explain kind of the ins and outs of that special character. I think between a 6 to 7 episode arc, maybe like an hour long, like 7 hour worth of episodes, be kind of crucial to that special character. But I mean, again, like I had some doubts about the MCU, but after the holiday special, and after seeing what's going on beyond next year going forward, I have a little bit of faith in Marvel.
Right.
This whole thing about Marvel fatigue is real, as we know, because again, like what Ms. Cap said, 2021 and 2022 has been a blur, especially with movies and TV shows and all the plot lines that we have to recognize moving forward, especially with Secret Invasion coming out and after the blimp and Endgame, all that jazz. I think moving forward, they have to figure out how to balance out movies and TV shows, not put them cramming together like they did these past 2 years, but space them out so we can breathe normally, because this year has been a blur, especially with movies and TV shows. But overall, I'll give Phase 4 a 3.95.
Jesus, you couldn't even just go to 4.
above all else.
So a 4.
So 4.
Yeah, 4.
There you go. I was about to say, like, come on, JT.
Wow.
Like you're about to like do
Gotta
the
be
whole
all technical.
pie 3.14 for like you were gonna do freaking.
I give it pi.
I give it
Round
pi. No, but I have to agree to a certain extent with you on that end, because I do think that certain characters should get a show, but at the same time, I feel like, again, after seeing 2 years of Disney Plus shows and 2 special presentations. I feel like special presentations should be the way to go coming on forward. Hopefully, Iger, I doubt, or no, who knows? He listened to coming back and getting that chat back out. So Iger, don't make me go fly back out there. But what's it called? I feel like that would be the perfect thing, because you could have all these new characters and all these again, kind of like throw shit at the wall like they kind of have been doing, like hitting different markets all at the same time. You could have one each month almost, and I don't feel like you would get the same type of like fatigue that you were talking about, JT, because you're not spending a whole month just or more just to get one character story, and then by the time that one's over, you get another one. You have like this 1.5 hour introduction to this character, then you have nothing for the rest of the month. Then starting the next month, you get another character. And yeah, like I feel like Daredevil and such, I would want to see a longer one, but at the same time, it's like, let's say it's another She-Hulk situation where it's just not clicking with me. Then you got 18 weeks. That's almost half a year of having to, yeah, like a quarter of the year just to dedicate it to this one character that you're like, I guess it's not like, it might not be clicking, but there's a little bit of interest and it's going to connect to the other things. So you're almost, I wouldn't say forcing yourself, but you're kind of trying to convince yourself to stick with it for 18 weeks, let's say, versus if it was a 3 to 4 part special presentation for certain characters, like bigger characters, like let's say Hulk or Daredevil, give them just a month, 1 episode per week, an hour long each. You could still tell a really good story arc that's longer than most movies. You could focus on that budget instead of 18 episodes, focus it down to 3 big episodes. So that's just my opinion. But
I'm curious why you were so like what's the correlation with like having, because you kept mentioning like Bob Chapek and Bob Iger. You do realize that everything we've been getting this year was under Bob Iger, right?
Not necessarily. He left a few years ago, and you could tell that a lot of
he left, and they announced all these projects in 2019.
Yes,
and we're just now getting them because they take 2 years to make.
But
and Chapek only joined.
Chapek was more of like the do more with less approach, where it was more like, I don't care what the quality is as long as we
corners.
Yeah, like cutting corners. Like we'll send the shit out, and people will come anyways. Raise the prices at the park, this and that. Iger definitely has more of that. Of that, like, okay, we got a brand, a reputation that we got to keep. In order to keep our people, we got to make sure that we're giving them a certain level of quality that they expect.
Let the creatives do their thing. Which
Yeah,
wasn't doing.
Yeah, no, that guy was just like, get that. We need more CG people. Let's look through the blacklist of people we say we wouldn't work for, and just bring animators in last moment, and if we need to fix that shit, we'll fix it. If not,
rush
too
this
bad.
Shit out.
Yeah, like I feel the projects would have been the same, but I feel like there would have been more effort put into them if Iger had remained the whole thing, because we've seen his work, or like him at the Realm throughout the whole MCU, basically, other than when they were at Paramount. But there was definitely a noticeable dip in quality when he left, and soon after we saw a little bit, and I'm pretty sure we're still going to see some of the effects that Chapek had throughout a little bit next year, but I feel like they are going to probably do some reshoots and such like that to try to minimize that, but I don't think we're going to see MCU hit the exact same way probably till 2023 in my opinion. But we'll go ahead and I'll ask you actually, Mr. Yeah,
That's my cat.
Oh,
my cat.
Man, it sounded like a baby, but
yeah, he is a baby.
But I will ask you,
baby.
Mr. Oyman. I was gonna ask Davel, but I'll ask him after. But since you seem to be on board completely with all the movies that released this year, so to refresh our memories, it was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So you seem to, if my memory serves me right, you seem to be pretty much a big fan of all of these. So how do you think they did overall? Like, which one was their strongest point out of those 3, and what was the weakest? And how would you have like fixed that?
Oh, I see. Okay. I will say that the movies this year overall liked more than the movies from last year, of which there were 4 last year and 3 this year. But I really enjoyed Multiverse of Madness. It worked for me on very many levels, even though it's not necessarily like, I don't even think it's the best Marvel movie this year, but it's just my personal favorite. Like, it did not let me down at all. And then Love and Thunder could have been better, but I still really liked what we got. And I rewatched it again recently just to see if, now that I've given it some time, I rewatched it the other week and still really enjoyed it. Not probably the weakest one from this year. I would say it is the weakest movie that they released this year, but I still liked it. And then Wakanda Forever blew me away with how good it was. I was very impressed with Wakanda Forever.
Okay, yeah, I need to still see that one. I'll probably get around to it.
Me too.
Hopefully this month. Worst case scenario, I get around to it next month. It most likely will be at Disney Plus.
It gets better each time I see it. I've seen it 3 times.
Well,
now,
maybe
better and better.
Damn.
Maybe if my
really
my
liked
work
it.
schedule allows me to, we might go see it. If you wouldn't mind coming with me, Mr. Oyman, but
I don't mind at all.
But we'll see. We'll get to it. What about you, Devil? Which one was probably the high point for you this year in terms of Marvel's movie outing, and what would you grade them overall?
Oh wait, Morbius. Duh. How could I forget Morbius? Easily the best. Easily the best.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man,
It's MCU. It connected to No Way Home at the end.
Yeah, shoot.
Concentrate.
We thought
God.
Black Panther. We thought Black Panther was gonna have Mr. Oyman's vote, but then Morbius just came in, man.
It's Morbius.
Motherfucker.
Really forgot it's Morbin time. I forgot the Morba.
Yeah,
All right.
jeez.
Anyways,
Go ahead,
I
Miss.
think I saw Black Panther twice because I missed the beginning of it. But watching it the second time, I definitely felt more of an emotional hit. It has to do with like there were certain moments where it felt like moments of silence for the actor or for the character, and that was really, really powerful. Like it really struck a chord with me. And then the fact that we finally have like a Latino American, I could say American, but just Latino, Hispanic, I could say Mesoamerican, actor like playing a Marvel character. Like I never saw that coming. I don't like that he has like piercings in his nose and ears, maybe just the nose, but everything else is like pretty cool. And
Well, I mean, this year was the year of Latinos in the MCU. I mean, you had Moon Knight with Oscar Isaac starting off the year, then America Chavez and
Dodo Gomez, yeah,
and then you have Namor guy. So
his name is Tenoch Huerta Mejia.
And then next year, I think we're gonna have a few more here and there, and well, obviously in DC we're gonna get Blue Beetle too, but.
Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But carry on.
Yeah.
So you were saying that it resonated with you the second time?
Yeah, for sure. And there's just things that you, if you watch it once and you watch it again, there's things you notice them like better than the first time, and it hits harder because of that. And then I guess secondly after that would be Doctor Strange. I mean, I did have fun with it because it just had other characters we wanted to see on screen. We saw them there. It was like it kind of hit back in your childhood, especially with like Professor X and stuff like that. And then with what's his name, Mr. Fantastic. Like I didn't see like that at all. Obviously, it was like a total fan cast. It was a fan service thing, so that was cool. Yeah. And then I guess thirdly was Love and Thunder. That movie had like really good scenes, but just overall, it just didn't mix with my taste in Marvel movies. It was a little bit too lighthearted.
If you want,
childish, I guess.
If you want the real Thor experience, go play God of War Ragnarok. That'll do you a better job. But
or watch Violent Night.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was actually surprisingly fun. What was I gonna say? And yeah, I feel like that was closer to a Thor movie in my opinion. But Devil. So overall, what would you grade their movie output this year? In your terms.
Overall or per movie?
Overall, like
overall.
Between those three combined together, what would you say Marvel deserves as a score this year?
Oh man, I feel like Black Panther doesn't deserve this, but like overall together, I would give it like a 3, probably.
Okay, so for the most part, it's Black Panther carrying that score up higher than what you feel it should be.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and since we did talk about Black Panther a little, I do want to ask those who did watch it, which I guess it would be you, Devel, JT, Miss Cap, Mr. Oyman, and I think me and Johnny Joestar haven't, but without, like, I guess, well, I mean, if you want to spoil, I would rather you not, but I don't, at this point, it's my fault because I haven't had a chance.
We won't spoil it. We won't spoil it.
But
No,
the
do
question
that
I
to you.
have for you guys that have watched it is, given the situation that they were faced with Chadwick Boseman passing away, do you guys feel like that they did a good job in honoring his legacy and actually putting out a good movie at the same time? Do you feel like that actually didn't
The transition.
it didn't like bite them in the ass in the long run because they had to scramble? You guys feel like it managed to pull it off, stick the landing?
Absolutely did stick the landing. Like, at least in my like when I went to go see it, like I don't get emotional with movies. I don't physically like cry. But like watching this movie, I cried 3 times. Like at the beginning, at the middle, and at the end. And like honestly, it's like a tribute to the character, but also tribute to the man behind the mask as well. And
Okay.
honestly, it was just
To really go see it.
they really
It's good.
took their time, like trying to, honor the memory that is like Black Panther in the movie, but also honoring, Chadwick Boseman and who he was. And they did a really good job seeing both. And I really would love to see it again because the first time I was like emotional and like watching it and stuff. So I want to watch it again just to see the actual plot. But from like first watching it, like they really did a really good job like mixing the two together and making sure that it was a good storyline and it flowed really well. And like I gotta give I have to give like a really shout out to like the guy who was sitting next to me because he was like boo-hoo crying throughout the entire movie.
Aww.
And like I was like right there with him, and like when the lights coming up and stuff, we had like a good conversation. Like JT was with us and like just talking about it, like how it was like very emotional to him. It's like he knows, like someone who had like cancer, and how this movie just really showed. It was just really, really emotional in a way. But they did a really good job. At least in my opinion.
Can I ask, like, so I just that was like my biggest fear was a transition. It was the biggest thing because I was like, I don't know how they're gonna, throw that out there. But did they CGI Chadwick Boseman?
Don't say anything. Don't say anything. But no, they didn't. No, they didn't.
No.
Okay.
No, you
like
they did not. There's a moment where you think they might. Yeah, there's a moment where you think they might, and then they do something else instead, and it was great.
Okay. So does it just start off with his funeral, or is it just like a thing? Like, do they explain what the hell happened to him?
You want to
Not really.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Just watch the movie.
Okay.
Watch the movie.
Yeah.
Watch the movie. It's vague, but watch the movie.
Okay. I was just interested because, like, I mean,
I will say
that
they treated the death of T'Challa pretty much like it was Chadwick, though.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
Because you know how his death just came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
so it's a similar situation here.
Okay.
And I would say that what the character journey that Shuri goes on, like she was just kind of like a kind of fun-ish side character in the first one, but they really
they pushed
the fact. They really did a good job with her in this a lot. Like I'm honestly very impressed with the actress and how Ryan Coogler did with the character.
Okay, that's good. Cause definitely like, and we all.
That was my biggest concern.
That was my big one too. Cause I was like, that's why I was so iffy on watching it. Cause I was like, man, I really do hope that they don't just like CGI him, stick him on a body, and then like he dies, and then that's when
No.
like everybody's like,
No,
"What
it-
the fuck?" Like, dude, no
No,
way.
it's
man.
nothing. It's nothing like that. No.
Okay, well that's great. That's
I will
great.
say
That's good to
that
hear.
I think that the way that they treated Shuri was better than how they treated like Jane Foster from Thor 4. Like
Yeah.
bringing,
Okay.
like,
Okay, that's
you know
cool.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was, and,
Yeah.
and I was okay with how they did
Yeah.
Jane. It wasn't
Yeah.
great, but Shuri was done a lot stronger. As
Okay,
well as
cool.
Namor.
Yeah,
Namor
because
was kick-ass.
that was another big thing though too. Because like if she was, taking the mantle, the biggest issue with me was it's like, I mean, is she really up for that kind of stuff? Because like before, she was just the brainiac. She was behind the tech,
Mhm.
trying to figure stuff out, and she didn't really, not to diss her, it's just she didn't really seem strong. You know what I'm saying? Like she couldn't really do the things that Chadwick could do.
She's still the
And-
same character from the first movie too, which I like. They didn't like change her character up. They
That's
just
cool.
further developed her.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. And
There's a lot of character development,
A lot.
yeah,
and it wasn't even for either. So
yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to hear. I mean,
It
I'll
wasn't
definitely
rushed.
be
It
watching
wasn't
that.
dragged out. It was well done. So
Okay.
that movie alone, like, I mean, I already love. You already know I already love the Multiverse of Madness, but I see it for what it is. It's a campy Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
Sam Raimi movie. But I think Black Panther 2, to me, I liked it more than the first one, even though I know a
Yeah,
lot of
I was
people
gonna say.
prefer the
yeah.
first one.
Well,
Me.
I mean, we all had that. We
I
all
do.
had that. Like, we all had that same opinion, if I'm not mistaken, that I remember. That we basically agreed that they kind of cut Black Panther a little too short. Like, it was just such a good hype, and we were so psyched about it. But the problem is that they kind of just made it a blah. Like, it was just short. You know what I'm saying? Like, we understand that T'Challa was supposed to be like this amazing hero where he's just fierce and so vigilant, and everything is just so awesome with him, especially protecting his people. But the thing was is that in that movie, like, everything was just kind of like just
Didn't really have any
not
character flaws.
exactly. It didn't really develop him any more than he was already shown. It was just like, oh, he's there, cool, yeah,
Like he had more character development in Civil War than he did his own movie. I think.
yeah, and that was
Shuri
like
has really good.
okay. Well, that's good. I mean, at least they gave him a good send off, which puts me at ease. And taking the mantle up with her, I mean, I really do. I am actually excited to see what happens with her. So yeah, thank you guys for that.
Yeah, so speaking of the movies this year, I really enjoyed all of them. I know Love and Thunder was kind of campy-ish, and Christian Bale did a great job as Gore the Butcher. But I don't know, something's with this movie that, okay. But again, like my top two has got to be not in any order. Doctor Strange and Wakanda Forever. Both of them did a great job at developing. Shuri and Wakanda Forever, and also Doctor Strange in the multiverse. In the multiverse of madness. Especially, I kind of like it. Would be kind of cool if I watched WandaVision and then watch Doctor Strange afterwards, because that's kind of like a cool correlation to figure out why Wanda became who she is, and that kind of coincides with the whole TV show. But speaking of Wakanda Forever, I need to watch it again. Like Miss Cap talked about, I personally enjoyed the first one much better than the second one. But if I do rewatch it and see the intricate details about what's going on in the second one, I probably like the second one better as a complete movie than the first one. But I think Wakanda Forever did a great job at kind of exploring the country Wakanda and has how it affects the whole world within the MCU in terms of like the vibranium stuff. But I feel like, to me, Doctor Strange was one of those movies where I can just watch it and have like mindless fun. With it.
Agreed.
I
Agreed.
think Wakanda
It's the
Forever,
easiest one to
you really
watch,
need to
probably.
think about the ramifications.
Gotta be in the
of
mood
it
for
moving
it.
forward within the MCU Phase 5 and 6. Meanwhile, Doctor Strange didn't have those type of ramifications in my opinion, it was just more like fun and exploring the multiverse moving forward. But Wakanda Forever has that weight to it that is kind of a crucial movie in Phase 4. Also, I think that I'm going to say this. I think all of Phase 4 ties in with Legacy. In the Hawkeye movie, the Hawkeye show, it was Legacy. Wakanda Forever, Legacy. Doctor Strange, eventually Legacy of how he finally developed into a person where he can lead, hopefully, the future Avengers. No Way Home was involved in Legacy. Peter Parker can finally explore what he means
new beginnings.
To become Spider-Man and all things.
Yeah.
I feel like
and
to me,
grief. You're gonna get away with
Legacy and grief. I feel like those are the two major themes within Phase 4.
WandaVision.
Especially. And so we can move past that and go to the multiverse with open eyes of we recognize, okay, we just got done with Legacy and grief. How would that kind of impact all these movies, all these shows moving forward? So that's the two major things that were hinted all throughout Phase 4.
Okay, that's pretty well said. So I was just looking at the video games that came out this year for Marvel, and man, it literally was just Marvel Snap and Midnight Sun. So that is pretty weak. I mean, it seems to be doing very good with the Midnight Sun. So if you're into that XCOM style stuff, A+, I guess, on that end. But for me, I don't care. Marvel Snap, I played it myself. I thought it was going to be trash when they showed it at their game showcase earlier this summer. But I played it, and I got a little hooked on it. I played it for a good month straight. It's a nice little free mobile game. It's like a deck building game that's pretty fun. I'd personally give it a solid 4, as far as mobile games go, 4 out of 5. So overall, that little section, kind of like how these Disney Plus shows and such are, video games, same category. Not too great this year in terms of their output, but hopeful for next year, because when you look at next year, we're looking at all those movies we mentioned, a bunch of Disney Plus shows. Video games wise, we are getting, if it doesn't get delayed, Spider-Man, stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure some other third party stuff. So there's a lot of I would say optimism for going forward. But let's get back to this year, and quick shout out to Sightings of Clyde. He came in and said, "What's up, Scrubs?" Basically is what he said. So he gives a quick shout out to the panel. But what's it called? So pretty much we covered the grounds. Let's not forget to include Morbius this time. So we'll go down the line and we'll include everything. Again, taking consideration their how they handled events, PR, the latest movie trailers they came out, with the Ant-Man, the Guardians, and the ones that came out through the years, the movies and the special presentations in Disney Plus. How would you guys feel that Marvel did this year as an overall thing? And again, remember, feel free to include Morbius.
Can't forget it.
We'll start off with you, Miss Cat.
Well, I can't really add Morbius because I've never seen it, so I can't have an opinion on it. But overall, I think this year I have to give it, out of 5. I would probably give it a 3.5. It's almost like a C rating.
Okay, so a little bit.
So there were some highs, there were some lows, but I think with what's coming up in the next year, there's some hope in this fatigue that we're having. There's some hope that we're going to actually get some really good content.
Yeah.
What about you, JT? What would your grading be?
Again, I really want to see Morbius so I can make fun of it when I'm watching it, having my popcorn. It's going to be amazing. But I've not seen it yet, but I am looking forward to see Jared Leto make a fool of himself and Matt Smith doing whatever the hell that he's doing. But I can't, this year as a whole, I will actually give it a B, a solid, Yeah, a B. I feel like the
Like
PR
a
did a
4.
great job in anticipating, again, like the Disney Plus shows, the movies. But again, this is all looking forward to next year. And I think this year was kind of a mess, but I think again towards like the end of the year with World War by Night and also with the holiday special, give us something to look forward to down the road.
Okay, man, I just love your way with words. I mean, just you sounded so optimistic when you're like, Morbius is basically going to be trash. Jared Leto's going to be making a fool of himself, but I can't wait. Like, man, they need to hire you for the PR team over there, JT. Before we get on to Mr. Davell, Sightings of Clyde chimed in, and he is not having it. He is Marvel did poorly this year, according to Sightings of Clyde. But how do you feel, Mr. Davell?
Oh, sorry, you kind of cut out. What was the question again?
Overall, like as a whole, between everything that we discussed today, not separating it into chunks now, just as a whole, how do you feel Marvel did this year in a grading system from like 1 to 5, or say like A to F?
I think I did like a solid C minus, and it only gets like a above C because everything was entertaining, but stories just didn't have enough. I don't know.
God damn.
I remember
Like, oh, pretty good.
C,
It's pretty
so-
good.
Solid round.
Solid C minus.
That's like I studied and then I still like barely made it.
Really bad.
Fuck. I hated those fucking C minuses. That's like straight up just disappointment.
And you know the teacher's looking at you like, I know you could do better. Just like,
Yeah, well,
doesn't even need to
that's,
say
that's
it.
not
Doesn't
bad.
even need to say
like,
it.
yeah. Oh man.
All right. Would you agree with him, Mr. Joestar, or what would you give as a rating?
Oh man. Well, right off the bat, I would still give it like I would give it like a C plus. It settled in just right in the middle. Like it was okay because especially with some of the shows, like it just kind of brought it down. But as far as it goes, definitely a C plus, I would say. I mean, close to 80. You know, you got like a 79, 77, somewhere around there.
Nah, isn't C plus? Wouldn't C plus? Oh no, yeah, you're right. I was gonna say, wouldn't C plus be a 69?
The
But
B would
no.
be like an 80. B minus
Yeah.
would be like a
Yeah.
79.
Nah, we all know you want that 69 grade scale, Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Joestar, because of that
C
especially
plus.
that green
especially
broccoli.
She-Hulk.
You keep, oh god.
I give it double
Oh.
D's.
I want her to flip
geez.
me over upside down while she's standing.
Oh
Crazy.
God. Here we go again.
What the fuck is that?
All right. So you would say a C plus.
Yeah, I would say C plus.
Sightings of Clyde chimes in, says have to go with Mr. Crocker and give him an F. Damn.
Damn.
Wow.
I'm just hating.
Damn.
God.
Wow,
Nice.
we value
Wait,
opinion
I got
sightings.
something. I
Yes,
got
we do.
something for Sightings of Clyde right there.
I understood that reference.
All right. So moving on.
There we
Mr.
got to it.
Yeah, exactly. Great show. Mr. Oyman, other than me, you're the last to go. So co-host, will you break the C's, or will it be C's all around, basically, for all of y'all so far?
No, hold on. I said a solid B. Okay.
What? Did you? Again,
he
when
did,
it,
he did.
oh, okay. When it comes
did.
to JT,
Confusing-ness.
yeah, you're JT. Like, I don't know. You say one, your mouth says one thing, and then your tone and everything says something else. But all right. So 2 C's, 1 B. Where are you at, Mr. Oyman?
So I'm taking into account everything: shows, specials, the movies, and like news trailers that came out this year, all that. You know, if it wasn't for Miss Marvel and Morbius, I'd probably be at like an A minus or an A even, because I really did like a lot of majority of the stuff that came out this year. So I'll go with like a B plus.
Yeah, let's go on the B's, baby.
Okay.
Boys.
Yeah, I can't quite give it an A, only because again we got fucking Morbius and Miss Marvel. If it weren't for those, I'd be in the A minus, maybe an A camp. Well, probably A minus, yeah.
Bullshit.
But with those two, it brings it to a B plus.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right.
What about you, Mr. Tex-Mex Morty?
She-Hulk
Yes.
gets an A for ass.
Yeah.
Jesus. No, she ain't got
And
no
titties.
ass, man.
Down
You
your
see that
bro.
CGI
She
shit?
got a
Did
big
you not
green
see her
ass.
twerking?
Oh my
Shit.
god.
What about the other scenes? There was nothing there. They forgot to
You
animate it.
Must not have watched the movie then, because when she's a She-Hulk, she definitely has that booty. She does her
Anyways.
squats. I have the action figure right in front of me, bro. She got a donk.
Yeah. Jolly green ass. I love it.
I've got my She-Hulk sex doll. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Okay. Whew.
Anyway,
Got that green flashlight.
Jeez.
well,
Mr. Davell, keep it PG-13 for the moment.
Okay.
Oh, I guess not. Well, that ship sailed. The
Really?
language alone got us rated R.
Sex doll. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
no.
Yeah,
we're
no,
definitely not
that's
PG-13.
gone. That's gone. Well, we try to keep it.
PG-8.
Other
We're
than
canceled.
yeah, we're European PG-13, where they allow the cussing and all that. But
Oh god.
what's it called? So me, I would give it a damn F. Like, Marvel, what are you doing? What is going
the fuck?
on over there?
Really?
Like, hell yeah! I mean,
Bro.
Really?
No, dude, you can't give it an F because that means you hated everything that came out this year, and I know for a fact you did not hate
Nah, this
a
is-
good number of projects
this
that came
is-
out this year.
this is averaging out everything. They get a mother. God,
Yeah, you're just
F.
doing it for the hate click.
no. You want to know why? Because
No.
no.
I want to know
Let me
why.
talk. Let me
the
talk.
holiday special and Doctor Strange and the Werewolf by Night,
I don't-
all those included, you still give the whole
Well,
year an
Doctor
F?
Doctor Strange was okay. Werewolf by Night I enjoyed.
Oh my
Guardians,
god.
And you
I
like the
enjoyed.
Guardian special, so there you go. There's
But
three
no,
good
no,
things. If
but
only
here's
one of
the
those
deal.
was good, then maybe.
Let me
Like a
talk.
D?
This is my opinion. No, it's straight up F
D
because
plus.
I want to know.
Because-
Here's reasoning.
because in what universe, especially coming from the beginning of the year when we started this, would Marvel go so low for me that you would have me freaking going and looking at DC and being like, you know what, that shit is kind of good over there. Like I was more pumped for Black Adam
That
at
shit
this
is
point.
good over there.
And I almost bought BVS. Like Marvel got me almost wanting to buy BVS. That's how fucking bad it was this year. Like I'm not saying they didn't have certain high points. I'm saying never in the past 14 years did I think, hey, that DC stuff over there ain't gonna be too bad. I mean, I always enjoyed like what's it called, like
I've
Man
always
of
enjoyed
Steel.
DC.
I
what?
enjoyed Man
What?
of Steel.
A lot of DC stuff is better than most of Marvel stuff.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. DCEU, not like the
Oh,
Batman, not like the Dark Knight.
yeah.
Like
Oh, okay.
the DCEU. It made me have more faith in that going forward and more excited about their thing. Again, I as soon as I went on vacation, BVS was playing on the TV at the Airbnb, and I actually watched
But
part
you're
of it.
not talking about Marvel, though. That has
Yeah,
nothing to do
but
with
that's the
Marvel.
thing.
That's
That was
just
the same
BVS.
day. That was the same day that the Ant-Man trailer released, and I had absolutely no hype. All I talked about that day, and I remember you said, "Oh shit,
yeah, I do.
Tex-Mex Morty is a DC guy now," because all I wanted to talk about was that Henry Cavill was back. I sent you a photo of me drinking a Zoa with goddamn The Rock on La Roca on the fucking can.
La Roca!
With BVS in the background, and that's all we were talking about that day. We didn't talk about the Ant-Man trailer because after the atrocities that they gave us back to back, that we were all like, not all of us, but shit, we were almost on JT's boat where we're like, damn, we lost faith. So that to me was a big indicator or a factor to why I would give it an F. Granted, if you're at the bottom, you could only go up. So that's the only reason that 2023, I'm still kind of excited. Like you said, the Guardians kind of still brought it back for me, but it wasn't enough to keep me happy. You get what I'm saying?
So
like overall,
objectively, okay. So
Yeah, Chubb,
the
I totally get it.
reactionary fanboy in you gives it an F. I get that. But
well, no, but that's what I'm saying.
What would you give all of Marvel as a whole?
But that's the thing.
grade-wise?
That's this year. I would give it an F because they failed to keep me as a fan this year. Even if they had good projects, an F is a
Based
failure.
off like three
And-
projects.
No, there was
Morty, you're valid. I'm giving you a valid. Okay, you're valid in your opinion. I get it. I get it for you.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to
You're totally
understand it.
okay.
yeah, no, like
But an F means worst of the worst, and this wasn't one of the worst years. Like, if anything, 2007, the year we had Ghost Rider and fucking Spider-Man 3,
Yeah,
and fucking
Damn,
but
you
this-
got all
Fantastic Four
so
2.
steamed.
But
Like,
we're-
they were the
Oh
worst
my
years.
we're in 2022 though. At the end of the
Yeah.
day,
True.
this show was not around last year. It came out this year, and I was still excited for Marvel last year. Ending this year, I almost just completely shut off. If it wasn't for that
Hey,
Guardian
Alex, I
special.
have to go early.
All right. Well, thank you for stopping by. Well, we're about to wrap it up anyways, but we'll go ahead and give you a quick shout out. But thanks so much for stopping by, Mr. Davell. Hopefully, we could get you back on at some other time. Definitely enjoyed what you brought to the table. But yeah, so let's thank you guys. You guys want to say goodbye to Davell?
Bye, Davell.
Hey,
All
Alex, if I ever come in again, there should be like a sound effect where like it's like, you know, that kind of sonic boom that Superman makes when he comes in the atmosphere, like
Yeah.
like should be something like that when I leave or something.
I'll try to remember that, man.
He comes and he goes.
Yeah, either that. No,
All right,
this is
guys,
gonna be
take care.
the sound effect.
Take
You
care.
want your Superman one? That's your takeoff sound. That's your takeoff sound, man.
It's the super shit.
Super shit. Nah, but again, thanks so much for stopping by. But yeah, like I said, I feel like we all kind of got our 2 cents in. I know you feel like I'm a little bit rough on it, Mr. Oyman, but it's just
It's Alex.
Just think
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
just
no,
think,
I'm not surprised in the least.
Well, no, but just
Oh yeah, there's some good
No,
things,
no, no,
but
just think back
Yeah.
to early
It's
November,
Alex.
like the end of October, early November, just exactly where I was at, and that's how
Hard
that's how I
critic.
basically remember this whole year. Like again, you
yeah, but then you remember you said yourself like, oh yeah, Werewolf by Night, that actually dampened the blow a bit, and then Guardian special was really
just
good.
a bit. But again,
so it wasn't all
overall-
bad.
Overall, though,
If anything, D minus. Come on, bro,
if-
D minus.
if
That's
I'm
about
a
as low as you
remember-
could realistically go.
if I'm a remember, like let's say 5 to 10 years from now, you bring up 2022. I'm not gonna remember the highs. I'm just gonna remember that's the freaking year
Jeez.
that we
Well,
started
that's-
Marvel
that's
Mondays.
the problem with
and
you, bro. You gotta let that negativity go.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
you
I'm
guys
not giving
have
him
a
the
good
slide.
day.
I think
Before
we
we
have
leave.
gone far.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and say
We'll have therapy another time.
thank you so
I
much.
mean, like, honestly,
what?
can I just say, like, you're like the hard critic from like Ratatouille. You'll just like Chef
Ah.
Boyardee like this whole fucking thing.
Nah, you.
So I don't blame him.
Don't
Like,
like
it's just,
I
let
Nah,
it go.
you. It's actually
Let
not
it go,
that hard.
Jonathan.
You just got to do competent
go.
shit, man. But real quick,
Ugh,
I
like,
just
man.
wanted to give a quick shout out to the audience that came back on our welcome back stream. We'll try to keep it more consistent and be here. If we do have a break, we're gonna have it just maybe like a week or two at most. We'll try not to go another two months. That was on my end. But speaking of which, I'm glad the panel was able to come back in its entirety. So glad that you guys could be here. I really appreciate you, Mr. Johnny Joestar, JT, Miss Cap,
Yeah.
and of course
Woo!
my wonderful co-host. I do love debating with you, even when you try
I love you
to
too.
change my mind. But no,
It's okay. I know I never will.
no,
But
you
it'll
do
be my life
sometimes.
mission
You
to try.
do sometimes. You do sometimes. Every now and then. I'll give you a
Alright.
W when you deserve it. But
the critic is here.
but I will say,
But also,
Yeah.
also, Marvel fans, just so you should know, James Gunn has gone to the DC side. He's the CEO
Yeah.
of DC Studios, and so you
know
guys are
that.
missing out on a great storyteller. I'm just giving you guys that heads up. Go move forward. Thank you.
We're
thanks for that, JT.
we're no longer gonna be called Marvel Monday.
Nah, now a JT's hostile takeover.
Okay. So, last thing, before we all go, just last thing, we should all give I know we gave our grade for, like, this year, Marvel in general, but let's just take that out of it. What grade would you give Phase 4 as a whole? Shows and movies included.
4,
Eh,
Out of what? 5?
5.
let's still give it a C.
I'd give it probably
Give it
like
It's like a 3.
like a 2.5, like on the meh scale. I
Yeah.
think they tried doing too much while still holding on to the past while trying to move at the
Yeah.
forward
That's what you
all
have
at
to
the
do,
same
though.
time.
You got to take what people are familiar
Well,
with.
yeah,
and
but they
use it
put
to
everything
move
on the
forward.
foreground instead of having certain things on the background. Like the stuff coming out of Endgame should have been background stuff, not so much foreground stuff. But they try to juggle way too much. But yeah, meh for me 2.5. Miss Cap was a
Like a
3.
C, I guess.
Yeah. What about you, JT?
I give it a 4.
Okay.
All right,
Out of 5. That's about what I
Yes.
give it, a B.
a B. All right. With that being said, again, I'd like to thank everyone, and we'll hopefully be able to see you next week, and enjoy the rest of the week.
You know how much I sacrificed?